Welcome to 2 on the 10.
Oh, we back another week, 2 on the 10.
Yes, sir.
I'm Paul.
I'm Mitch.
Greedy Nick.
Greedy.
You know what time it is, baby. We got a great show today. We got a lot of news to talk about. A lot of happenings in the world. Huh? Little this, little that. Little take that, take that, take that.
Bad boy.
But we'll get to that here in a minute. But of course, we start out doing our subject. Let's go with Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? How was your? Because I know a little bit about Greedy's weekend because he was with me for a little bit. So how was your weekend, brother?
Well, it was cool. It was kind of chill, relaxed. Nothing too crazy. Just real chill, real relaxed.
Okay.
If anything, I will say this that I what's it called? I went to dinner with Chris and my mom, and we were trying to decide what place to eat, and brought it back to Black Angus.
Okay.
Yeah, and what's crazy is, I know Black Angus has played out for a lot of people. It's 80s, maybe 90s, and started dying out. But if you haven't been back in a while, I'd say just check it out. They it's kind of interesting, all the options they have, all the different foods they got and stuff. And again, it's one of those comfort foods that sometimes you just got to go to, like a Red Lobster or whatever. And so it was really good. I was surprised at how good it was. Yeah. For a Black Angus,
Okay.
I just gonna say I went to Texas Roadhouse this week.
Yeah.
I got a filet.
How was it?
It was one of the worst fillets I've ever had in my life.
Okay. All right. So I wasn't going to be the one to say it at first, but Texas Roadhouse I believe, has gone downhill. I believe back in the day they used to have a good.
Their sirloins are still pretty good, but I'm telling you, this filet I had was fatty, and there was like big chunks of grizzly fat throughout the whole thing. Like I was like, man, who cut this thing up? Because they cut like a bad piece. There was like one big like fat string that ran through like the whole center.
Maybe that's because you probably always order it well done.
No, I never order well done. Medium rare.
No, they're. I mean, like their bread. Oh my god,
The bread was a little different too. Last
really?
time. Yeah,
Their bread's always on point though. When I
a little different. It was a little smaller. It was normally it's like a little more puffy and like
Speaking of puffy.
yeah. But this time it wasn't. So anyway, sorry, Mitch. Keep going with your.
Oh, yeah, no. So, it was really just quiet and chill. Smoked a couple cigars on the Moose patio. Enjoyed this weather that we're having. But really didn't do too much because I had to do some, still some moving around, stuff like that.
I got you.
And I'm trying to think. Nothing. Real enjoyable weekend. Nothing too exciting, nothing to write home about.
I got you. You talking about this weather? This weather's been absolutely nutty, huh?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful and rain and beautiful. We had hail last week.
Right.
Crazy.
Huh? That is super crazy. Definitely. Greedy, what about you, man? What we got?
My weekend. First off, I just want to say I've been forewarned not to bring up any details pertaining to my household and what I do in the household in the evening time.
What do you do in the household?
After the lights go out with a certain somebody, and I'm not to shout out that somebody is.
So you been banned?
I've been banned from discussing.
So what you're saying
shadow
is
bands.
you can't talk about the Asian dude from Pickle Park anymore?
No, he's forbid me to speak his name or about Pickle Park for that matter.
Okay.
But this weekend was great. I went Friday night. We had a little spring training outing for work, so went to one of the last spring training games for the D-backs. And then we took that from there to Buffalo Wild Wings, watched some of the NCAA tournament over at Wild Wings with some people from work. Then I took that to the casino to sober up a little bit.
Did you win any money?
No, I didn't lose though. So
Okay. Hey,
I was up about I was up about 200. Then I was down about 150, and then on the way out I hit a slot for like 140. So I left with like $10 less in my pocket.
Yeah, it's a win when you come out of casino and you like, you break even or got some money.
That's winning big time.
Hey, I got 2 hours in there. I got to sober up. I had a few sodas, and it was good. And then after that, I went back to Chandler, called my girl on the way home. She's like, come pick me up. We're going out. She was on one. She wanted to drink.
Yeah. I know you tried to call me.
Yeah.
We were like, Nick, aren't we going out tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm not going nowhere.
So I got one picture up. We got home. We dropped the car off, and then we took an Uber out to Gilbert, hit our old Stomping Grounds Champions, hung out there, had some drinks there. Then we went to Oso in Chandler or in Gilbert, had some drinks there. Ended up getting home about 1 a.m. or maybe later. I don't know. I
A
don't.
Waffle House.
No Waffle House. No food late night. Just got home, got to bed, and then we were supposed to wake up early for a little outing to. They had a
Was it a dim sum festival? Or something?
Bao Bun and dumpling festival and rice festival out in Peoria that we were gonna head to. So
Don't forget the rice.
yeah. So I woke up. I was up and tapped my girl like, "Hey, you ready to go?" She was not feeling it.
So you're saying she wakes up in the morning, sounds like Master P.
She had no voice. She lost her voice.
Nah.
She lost her voice. She could barely speak. She felt like
Shout out the Little Mermaid.
Yes.
yeah, you guys can shout her out. But she was not feeling good, so I finally convinced her like, let's just go. So I dragged her out of the house. We went to the food festival, and man, I had some amazing food.
Yeah, it's food.
Now, I don't know if the listeners out there don't know what like bao buns are. They're like little puff pastries with like meat in the middle.
So they're Diddy pastries.
So, yes, take that. They have like usually pork or some other meat in there, and man, they some places had homemade ones. They had all different kinds of they had Filipino food. I got some lumpia.
You got some Thai food.
Got some Thai food. They actually had I think it was Somalian.
Yeah.
They had these little Somalian
check
pastries
Yep.
with like it was like beef and potato and some spices.
Were they in the shape of pirate ships?
They were in shape of little triangles, almost like a little little sail.
Yeah.
But they were delicious. I don't remember exactly what they were called. And I actually brought up to somebody and they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that's what they were. And they're like, oh, yeah, they sell those at the farmer's market. They were bomb. They were delicious.
Do they make you say, I'm the captain now after you?
No, they didn't. The guy didn't. But he looked like he might have been, part of that group. And then we had some ice cream that was made with like out any dairy. It was like fresh fruit and stuff in it.
Yeah, that's
strawberry and
the
mango.
The mango was fine.
Yeah. They liked it. I didn't like it as much, but I still ate it.
It was like sorbet.
And then just a ton of food. We walked around for a couple hours. We got a couple of these donuts. They're called mochi nuts. They're made out of like a different type of dough.
Pause. What kind of nuts y'all eating?
Mochi nuts. And they're made out of a different kind of dough.
Diddy nuts.
It almost tasted like Indian fry bread dough on a donut. They were actually pretty good. I liked them. And then my girl after about 2.5, 3 hours was like, I gotta go home.
Yeah.
So we.
You know what? I gotta give it to this girl. She
was a trooper.
She was a trooper. She had lost her voice from the night before, so she had gone. We'd all been there. Gone hard in the paint and stuff like that.
And she's been recovering from like a sickness for like a week.
Yeah, and she actually hopped in the car with us. Took it because it was almost a 50-minute car ride up there.
Yeah.
And she hopped in the car and she walked around with us. She sat there and ate. And
then on the way home, she got a migraine.
she got a migraine, and then we dropped them off. But it was like I said, I got to give it up to your girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her some applause.
The Little Mermaid.
Give her some love because she definitely was a trooper.
No, she is a trooper. I mean, some of that was self-inflicted. I told her, we have plans tomorrow, and she said, "Don't worry, I'll get up."
You did this to yourself, girl.
And and I've been there too. I've been like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll be up."
Ike Turner.
Hey, there's been times, I've been like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll be up tomorrow," and then, the alarm's going off, and I'm like, "Fuck no, I ain't getting up." So it was one of those days for her, but.
I've been there.
But luckily, she was a trooper. She got up. We had a good time. It was a great time. The food was amazing. I'm sure Paul will attest to that as well.
Yeah, those nights, Nick's alarm set at 1 in the afternoon the next day.
Yeah. If for the listeners that don't know, I like my sleep. I'm like an 8-9 hour a night guy. So, some days, like when we go out to the club and then we go to the bar and then we go to eat afterwards, I go home like 3, 4 in the morning. There'll be days I'll sleep in 1, 2 in the afternoon. So that's a common occurrence in my household.
Just like high school.
Yeah, high school, college, don't matter. I've been known to sleep well into the afternoon on the weekend. So, it just happens. I need my sleep. So
There you go. Now, you know what, Nick, I'm going to jump right into, skip all the other little fluff part, but talk about this festival. This festival was so dope. We've been looking forward to it for, weeks now. Me and my girl, we love dumplings, the bao buns, stuff like that. And it was just, didn't realize it was all the way in Peoria. So, it was like I said, it was a 15-minute drive from
Damn near went to Asia.
Yeah, damn near, you know what I'm saying? But Yeah, we got out there and it was kind of the parking was kind of wild and stuff like that. But once we got in, the first stop we stopped at, man, I'm telling you, it was so good. Like all the food out there was really good. I was highly impressed. There wasn't anything that I was like, yeah, everything was like really really good.
Let me ask you: was it mostly food truck business? I mean, I know they have food trucks, but
Yeah.
or was there places that had restaurants that you?
No. It was mostly food truck business. That's what it was. Or people had pop up tents, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that was the only bad part of the deal is it wasn't like that's a hard thing about food trucks is they're always on the which is good and bad. They're always on the move, but because they can hit different areas. But if you're craving it, you can't just go and stop in that location. So that was a problem. But the food was, like I said, they were definitely doing their thing.
Hey, what was your favorite?
Probably the first place we stopped at, where they had the I can't remember what it was called, but they had those the steamed dumplings and with shrimp in them. Oh, that shit got them to go back at the end. The shit was so good, so good. I'd do it again, but hoping to have something like that on the east side. That's the one thing that Facebook's good about. It throws out like little events in your area and shit like that. So I'm always checking and trying to get out the house and do some shit. So
The one thing I'll say I liked about it too is because a lot of the festivals they do out here are focused more around like the liquor and alcohol.
yep.
This wasn't that. This was
yep.
more like a family. Just like if you want to eat, this is a food festival.
yeah.
It wasn't really about. I don't even think any place in there.
no,
I
so-
don't think they had a liquor license of any
Yeah,
kind. So
yep.
because it was food trucks and stuff, so it was all about just the different types of food and the food you could get there. And man, I don't think I had a bad. Everything I tasted, nothing. I was like, oh, this is disgusting.
Right.
Everything was good to great.
Yeah, no. I mean, I totally agree. I co-sign on that. That shit was fire. Definitely. But all right, well, let's get into some fire topics that we have. It's been a crazy week. Right?
Take that.
So, of course, we've been alluding to, we always have on this show, we always have, a Diddy update, but this time around, we going to have a Diddy segment because this cat is in some world of fucking trouble right now. I mean, he just got his house raided. He got his three houses raided.
Three houses rated. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, two in California, one in Miami, the Star Island, stuff like that. There are, and we're going to touch on this. There's reports that people saw him outside the Miami airport. He's down in the Caribbean. He was able to take off.
Well, they were tracking his plane from Sacramento to I don't know what's it doing in Sacramento, by the way. Then to LA, then to Denver, to something else.
I don't know if he was just trying to throw folks off, but I mean, it's crazy. They, when they went into his LA homes, I mean, they had his sons in handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? They had him outside the house. Everybody,
Normally, when they do a raid, they do that. They take everybody out in cuffs because they don't know who's what.
yeah.
So if they're going to go in with guns drawn and raid a house,
Right.
they're going to pull everybody out, put them in handcuffs until they figure out who's who.
Okay, Grady, give me what we do know, what we don't know, and then we're gonna kind of.
So, I mean, with the lawsuit that his former producer put against him and some of the allegations by Cassie before she was paid off to be quiet, there's a lot of things going around about, sex trafficking, drugs, guns, possible murder, all alleged rumors at this point. But a couple of the big things was supposedly Diddy had cameras throughout his whole house and filmed, powerful people in music and entertainment industry, with underage girls, with other men with other men. A lot of stuff allegedly, none of this has been proven. It's all speculation at this point, but I guess there was enough evidence from what they gathered from people that have come against him that they decided to raid all his houses. Obviously, to look for more information to try to build a case against him. I've heard, they're looking at like racketeering, they're looking at conspiracy, among other things. I mean, one of his friends, they're calling him his drug mule, was a kid by the name of Brendan Paul.
Syracuse kid?
Former Syracuse basketball player, was arrested at the Miami airport with him. They found like cocaine and other drugs in his bag. Took him to jail. He's facing charges for that. Supposedly, that was the guy that handled all that Diddy kept around. White guy. Also, just want to put that out there. That carried all his drugs and guns for Diddy when they traveled. That was basically his role in, and he was actually named in the lawsuit by the producer as being that his drug and gun runner. So interesting that they caught that guy and they arrested him. Would be curious to see if he takes the rap or if he decides to talk, because obviously doing what he does, he knows a lot. I'll just say that.
Yeah, and that kid looked like he ain't built for jail. I'm gonna put it that way. So
No.
I guarantee you. My thing is right now do we know Puffy's whereabouts?
Supposedly he's like in the Bahamas or the Caribbean on his yacht. That's where he was flying from Miami to when the raids were happening.
Okay, so but his jet's parked in Angola, right, or Angola or some shit like
That
that.
was overseas. His jet was overseas and they were following.
Yeah, right. It's supposed to be in somewhere down in the Caribbean.
And there was-
Now, here's my thing: is do they have extradition in that country?
I know he was trying. I mean, again, my rumor was he was trying to meet up with Russell Simmons, who's already in a non-extradition country.
Really?
I mean, again,
Where's Russell Simmons been?
he's been hiding.
That motherfucker hiding too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a young.
Is he part of the Diddy crew?
I mean, he was probably the Diddy crew before Diddy.
And I did see that the Diddy Justin Bieber as a kid videos all resurfaced online this week. People are talking about how when they rewatch the videos, how creepy they are,
Right.
and some of the weird shit that was said.
How about the videos when Nickelodeon, when he jumps on the program and he goes on and talks to those little kids over there, makes surprise visits, and the person that brought him on was that Dan, whatever his name was it Dan Schneider or whatever?
Yeah.
The guy that was busted or that's getting in trouble for.
That people are looking at for inappropriate shit with
children.
all the Disney
and
young
Nickelodeon.
kids
And
back in the day,
And Nickelodeon, yeah.
and
By the
Nickelodeon.
way, that guy was actually on the show Head of the Class on ABC back in like the 80s too. By the way, that Dan Schneider guy. And then
I saw some comments online, bro. It was so funny. They were like, he must have missed his Illuminati payments.
oh yeah. He missed the Illuminati payment.
Oh my god, that shit had me dying, bro.
It's just crazy now. It's like since like the Epstein stuff, and he disappeared, and then now all this stuff's coming out with all these other famous people, and it's like
So everybody turned on
in the past people were scared to talk. It seemed like now people are like fuck it, and they're just throwing everybody under the bus and people are denying stuff left and right, and just crazy.
So is Jay-Z and Beyonce, is that
I heard Jay-Z's in hiding right now. Maybe
is that Stone?
I don't know if he's involved.
What you know, Nostradamus? You been listen. I got to give it to you. Okay. I got to give it to this dude. Sometimes he be going all the way out in left field, but this one, if you roll back some of our earlier episodes, you had talked about Hollywood earlier. You know what I'm saying? And you had brought up Quincy Jones. You had brought up Puff Daddy, how some of these parties and some even before all this shit had popped off. I got to give you credit on that. You know what I'm saying? You have brought that shit up.
Got insider knowledge.
And I'm saying now I'm asking you, like, what are we gonna see next? Is Jay coming down the next? I mean, are we gonna?
I'll tell you this. Again, when there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
I'll just say this, man. Okay, and I'm the first person with all this stuff going on. I still say be careful. Just like I said the other day, be careful. I still think it's a psyop to a degree.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Explain that.
I don't think it's face value.
Explain that. You think this is all like look over here type shit?
It's,
while we
it's
doing some
definitely
shit
look over here. It's distraction. But then on top of that, to me, it's basically just exposing this behavior and keep exposing it. It's almost no different than in the 80s when you heard the war on drugs, the war on drugs, the war on drugs, the war on drugs. And the whole time the same people saying the war on drugs are flying drugs into the country.
Right.
Again, you keep talking pedophilia, you keep talking all this other stuff, you keep talking celebrities, you start introducing this idea, and you see that the elite of the elite of the elite in a world where people look up to these people, and these people will do anything to be in those circles or run in those circles.
Right.
They start. How many people do you think deep down go, you know what? It ain't that bad. It ain't this. And they're going to start justifying this behavior.
Really? You think
think
you think this shit's gonna? You think this what it's kind of like deprogramming us?
Yes, to almost be desensitized.
Desensitized.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you,
That's an interesting theory. Listen, you said some pretty off the wall shit, but
That's no different. Let's put it this way. 30 years ago, we went and thought gambling was legal on our phones, and we'll talk about some of that stuff and how it's affecting everyday sports and everything else.
Yeah,
we would have thought weed would be illegal.
Weed would be legal. I mean, no wrong. I do think weed has the least amount of problems, but again, people were in jail for years. Life. Drug, 10,
Third
5,
strike.
10 years. Okay, so weed. And now even, did we ever think 20 years ago that whoever the politicians are, especially in California, would be handing out needles? So here's the thing. We live in a world now where they hand out needles for drug abusers, but in Florida, for example, they'll arrest you for feeding the homeless. Like, what world do we really live in? This is America.
But Mitch, I mean, okay, let's touch on this topic real quick. 'Cause I love that you brought it up like this, but do you really think that they're trying to desensitize us to fucking child molestation?
I'll tell you this.
There's no fucking way,
here's how the
bro.
I'm
There's no
going to tell you this right here.
fucking
Here's
way.
how the dominoes fall. Here's how the dominoes fall, especially when they reset an NWO, the New World Order, and all this other stuff.
Right.
Okay. Cocaine's going to be legal. Drugs are going to be legal.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
I can see that because
Not in Portland.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, they've also done it overseas.
I think that's also the reason fentanyl's become such a big picture, because eventually they're going to go, well, fentanyl's in everything. You don't know this. The only way we're going to do this is to take control of it and sell it to you, then make sure it's pure. And so, I mean, again, that's just my 2 cents. Prostitution will be legal eventually.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, okay, like I said, is I understand prostitution. You know what I'm saying? Is I understand why people do it. I think, in Nevada, it's already in parts of Nevada, it's already legal. You know what I'm saying?
All you have to do is see North Scottsdale.
Hey, what they're trying to do is they're trying to take the average person. They're trying to take God out of their life
without doubt.
and
but
make it like
Sodom and
Sodom and Gomorrah.
everything else.
I got you, but it's morality in this shit, and child molestation, child sex trafficking. That is a fucking line that I don't give a fuck who you are. You cannot cross.
Well, let me ask you this: so if
No, I know people do
Hey,
it, but what I'm
Paul.
saying is, it's no way that we're going to fucking convince society that
We're
that
at
shit's
the point.
okay.
We're at a point where society, where grown men can go into locker rooms in front of little girls and dress and change. And,
Hey,
and
Paul,
it's
is there any?
Okay,
let me ask this question: is there any problem with like a 30-year-old sleeping with an 18-year-old?
She's an adult. She's
Okay.
at that time she's 18 years old.
So what about a 20-year-old sleeping with a 17-year-old? They both went to high school together.
No, here's the thing. Okay, so
See, what happens is they're trying to blur those lines. Well, what do you think is right and wrong?
I
And
got
then-
you, but you. I mean,
That's really what
you got to. Okay, if you don't have any laws, you have anarchy, right? So we have laws. Okay, we're saying the age of 18, you're an adult. You can go. I mean, you can't buy which is alcohol, but you can go fucking fight for the country, which is weird as shit to everybody. That's another story. In
Can't
itself.
gamble now.
You know what I'm saying? But my
Or
thing,
buy cigarettes.
But my thing is, you can be charged if you commit a crime. You can be charged as an adult at 18 years old.
even at 12 or 13.
No, then I mean, it
if you
depends
commit a
on
big enough crime.
big enough. It's heinous enough. But the land of the law is 18 years old. You're an adult. That's across the board everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I know in some of these Kentucky and all these other places, the age of consent can be
All they're trying to do is blur the line so that, she was only 17, she was only 16, or he was only 15.
Yeah, man. But,
And
but
they just blur
we have laws, bro. It's 18 years fucking old. You know,
We
what
have
I'm saying?
laws where grown men can't go in a women's bathroom.
And they do.
But here's the
They
thing.
found a workaround.
But again, I'm saying
But
it's over time.
but here's the thing is, I mean,
Long play.
you're speaking of transsexuals, so that's a whole nother.
Or weirdos. Weirdos.
Yeah.
No, weirdos, bro.
you
I
can-
cannot go into a woman's fucking bathroom right now.
So you're saying
could
you're a
if-
weirdo.
You could go in there if you decided that you were female.
Yeah, if you decided to put a wig on.
I identify as a female. I can go into the
Yeah.
Why not?
Yes.
Who's going to stop you?
Yes.
motherfuckers.
Here's the thing:
guess what?
with
They're
the
afraid of a
society's
lawsuit.
become so crazy that if you walk into a woman's room, no one can say shit because they don't know if you identify what you identify
I
as.
guarantee you this: if a
It was
man,
the other way around. Yeah, I
I
get you.
guarantee you this:
I get you.
if somebody walked into the bathroom, of my daughter, I have two daughters.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll beat the brakes out of him for you. I get you.
You get what I'm saying?
But that's
that,
not,
that shit
but,
don't work.
But here's the thing.
I don't play that shit.
That's you me talking. That's also me and you talking if we saw some child getting molested.
What if,
again, this is a different world.
now, what if the guy's in a dress and a wig and he walks into the...
I don't give a motherfucker.
You're going to chase him down?
Here's
What
the
if he
thing.
identifies and that's how he lives his life?
And listen, here's the thing, bro. Until you get, listen, and I might go get some hate from just this shit. Until you get and I have I have friends that are transsexual. I have zero problem. Okay, I got a transsexual friend you wouldn't even know used to be a male. She's fucking well.
Hey, don't talk about greedy.
It's fine as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Greedy.
So here's the thing that would trick me. But what I'm getting, if you don't try to transition, like if you don't at least have breasts on you.
But see, these are your rules.
What do you mean, my rules, man? This is morality, bro.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta at least have some breasts.
Hey, morality in 2024.
You gotta have some breasts because you say I'm trying to go that direction. You can't throw in a wig and fucking throw some makeup.
My point proven right here. Morality 2024 is a different discussion than morality 2012, than morality 2020, than 1980, 1990.
So I get it. I get it. Is with times and change, but Mitch, I just believe in my heart. I hope in my heart that we would not compromise as a society to saying it's okay
Well, we've compromised. Say it's okay to do drugs.
for sex traffic. Come on, but there's but it's not apples to apples. You know what I'm saying? You talking about apples.
You're talking about a country that allowed slavery for hundreds of years. You don't think they're gonna sex trafficking is just the new form of slavery? It's the new form of slavery.
It's a $1 billion industry.
Do you know, by the way, technically, I was reading an article the other day that said there's actually more slaves in the world right now than there was ever.
Yeah, because it's the sex slaves.
It's crazy. Like we live in people don't realize the world we live in. I mean, I'm talking all of this. It's a crazy world.
Yes, because here's the thing. It was kind of funny. I was talking to a few people. I just finished watching this movie. I advise all you guys to check it out. It's called The Three Body Problem, and it's a new sci-fi movie that's on Netflix. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It gets you to think about some questions that are going on right now. I mean, other than the aliens part, but for the fact is. Give me a little background on the story. They found out these aliens are coming to Earth, but they won't be here for 400 years, right? Mm-hmm. Do you start freaking out now, or you ain't gonna be here? Neither will your kids be here. Neither will their kids be here to be able to experience that. So.
But do we know, are they coming for good, for evil, for what?
So here's the thing.
I can't relate. I'm a procrastinator.
Well, I want you guys to watch the show. I'm not gonna ruin it for you. So I want you guys to watch the show, but I want the listeners to watch the show too. My thing is, it makes you think about what's going on right now. That's how I think politicians and people think about fucking global warming. I know we have difference of opinion on that, but it's not going to affect us right now. It's going to affect our kids and their kids, whatever.
It's all narratives.
And so that's what I'm saying is like, maybe that's why right now politicians and people around them don't give a fuck because they're not going to see. They're not going to see.
If money comes in their bank accounts overseas, I don't think that. I think that's their loyalty, and to other degrees too, what they need to push.
Hey, I just want to say I was watching TikTok the other day, and I just happened to cross this guy. I guess he's like a somewhat famous, content creator. Mm-hmm. He was talking about how when he moved to LA the first time, he and his friends were making content. They were starting to get big on other platforms before TikTok. Right. And he got some producer found them, and he's like, "Hey, you guys are great. We love what you're doing. Let me get your information. I'd like to touch base with you." And then like a week later, he got invited to some party. He got like an envelope in the mail. He never gave the guy his address, just his phone number. He gets an envelope in the mail to go to some party. So he ended up going to this party, and it was like everybody's in masks, kind of like Eyes Wide Shut.
Which you know is an Illuminati movie.
Yeah, and then like the first room, everybody's just drinking, having cocktails, talking and stuff. Then the second room, it was like starting to get a little creepy. Like people were starting to like make out and get naked and weird shit. And he wasn't feeling comfortable, so
I was like, "What's creepy about that shit?"
And then he's
like one of the big parties in my house we got.
So he told him that he basically was like, yeah, he took his mask off. He was like, I don't feel right. And they basically escorted him out like a back door. And then as they were getting ready to go into the third room, well, when he went outside, he was getting ready to leave, and he snuck around. He's like, because his friend was still in there. He went to look, and his friend was in the third room, and they had all the newbies in the center, and they were making him do shit that he said was like unspeakable. Like he couldn't believe the shit that was going on in there, and he was like sick to his stomach. He couldn't believe it. That he was so scared, he just ran out of there because he's like, shit, I don't, if they see me, he's like, this is the type of shit if I were to say I saw, like people get murdered over. And he basically left, and then
maybe you start murdering.
yeah, and then he said like his buddy came in town the next day to visit, and he didn't even know what to tell his buddy. And the other guy that was in there didn't say anything to him. They didn't even talk after that. He ran into him a couple days later, and the guy's like, you just need to get out of here. And so he packed up and he left town. And he said that his buddy became a big star, and he didn't mention who he was.
Oh shit!
But he said they did like they made him like they were in a circle and made him do unspeakable like shit that. And I was just
That's only
like,
do at Pickle Park, huh?
that only happens at Pickle Park or the International Glory Hole.
I love it. I love it.
But
I love it.
But yeah, just crazy, like just basically like reliving what Eyes Wide Shut movie's about,
Right.
But on like crazy, like, and they said that's basically how they get these newcomers to Hollywood basically trapped. And then like, what are they going to do? They can't be like, no, you'll never be in business again. They'll make you an outcast. They'll make you seem crazy, which you see all the time happen to people. They talk out, they make them seem crazy.
Right.
Look at Cat Williams, for example. They try to make him seem like he's a druggie, crazy, all this shit. And he speaks the truth. And then a lot of the shit he's talking about now we're seeing with P. Diddy. So that's what they do. Or the worst, they kill you. You have your car your brakes don't work, or you drowned in your hot tub or your swimming pool.
Or in your Tesla, like Mitch McConnell's.
Yeah. Or you have a suicide when you're supposed to testify against Boeing, the next day. Okay. So just craziness.
Or a suicide if you are in charge of the Clinton airport.
Yeah, and just crazy stuff like it's like stuff is so deep and so twisted and like just so much shit we don't even know about.
Or can handle.
Or can handle. Yeah, exactly. Like I think
we're so programmed.
Yeah,
we can't handle this. Everybody's got to stay in this lane, and they don't want to know. I mean, let's put it this way: we live in a world, and I'm gonna change my narrative. I always use the CIA flying the cocaine in, et cetera. But we live in a world we know there's more to 9/11, right, than was told, right? We all know. But when it comes down to it, we regurgitate the exact narrative that we went over to war. We looked for weapons of mass destruction. We looked for Osama bin Laden.
Right.
And people still have death wishes against some Muslims. Right. I mean, again, but we know better. We know better.
Right.
And again, we live in this world because at the end of the day, I was programmed since I was growing up to follow this dream, this goal, this house, this car, this girl, whatever else. And you know what? If I get taken off of that worrying about this one, where do I go? I don't know what to do. There's no rule book for this in life. I've been training for all this other stuff.
Right.
But two, I just can't comprehend. It takes honestly, it takes a strong person and a spiritual belief system beyond belief to be able to handle the weight of some of the stuff that's going on and still function.
Right.
I mean, again, without going into depression, without going down these crazy rabbit holes, that you start changing who you are. Right. I mean, it takes a strong, person and a strong discernment to handle all this. And most people aren't capable of it, or most people don't want to. I mean, why would you want to? Let's be completely honest. This stuff goes on. Why would you want to take it on? And here's what's better. Here's the thing. If I was to battle myself in a debate, the first question I'd ask myself, and this is what I do to everything. That's why I'm always prepared for an answer. The first question I'd ask myself is, okay, let's say all your conspiracies are right. What are you going to do about them? What are you going to do? You're just going to talk about them? You don't want to be right.
What can you do?
No, exactly. But again,
well, I mean, you can do a lot of things. I mean, you can prepare yourself. I mean, if you started your conspiracy theories start to fucking manifest themselves, then I mean, you can prepare yourself for okay, what if I think this is going to happen? Then fuck, I need to start getting me fucking food, water.
No, well, let's ask this: what if you found out that 9/11 was an inside job and the government planned it? Okay. What could you do?
You know what? It just reinforces what I think. You know what I'm saying? At that point, well, because who's going to do anything about it? I don't have enough power to do anything about it.
Exactly, and that's what they want.
know what I'm saying?
No one person or group has enough power to do anything.
And let me add to this: most people think only on the next tier level. So they're like, oh, the guys on the left, the guys on the right, the Democrats, the Republicans. That's the next level up.
Right.
That's where they blame, and that's why the system's set up the way it is, to keep people divided, and to blame these people. All the while, people are calling in the plays from way, way over some other place.
Right.
You know, even from decades ago and centuries ago, they're calling these plays in. And again, but I'll say this again. I'll answer my own question, because again, battling myself, I'd be like, well, what are you going to do? You're just talking about it. What, make people aware? You know, like, just want to be right. You know, like
What would you do?
But okay, so here's one thing I'll say. And I say this to everybody, especially when things get so heavy or when you can't control things, realize you can't control what you can't control.
Right.
But you can control who you are.
Right.
You can control what you think. You know, you can control how you treat people, and you can control what you find joy in.
So what? So what are you going to do about it?
Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to realize that this world is not what it was. I'm going to appreciate the good things in this world so I don't go crazy.
Okay.
I'm going to try and put out good energy, positive energy to everybody I encounter,
Okay.
because that's going to help me fight that gloom, that anxiety, and that depression
Gotcha.
by doing good deeds genuinely with nothing in return for other people.
Gotcha.
Whether it's opening a door or helping a homeless man out or helping a lady up on the curb, an old lady. All I'm saying is creating a good energy and a positive effect from a bad situation or an unknown situation can give us a sense of power, because you're affecting somebody else's life in a positive way. And if you have any belief system, whether it's karma, whether it's energy, whether it's Jesus, Buddha, you know, all I'm saying is it's not a bad thing to spread love, positivity, goodwill. And also humble yourself to have an appreciation for the good things in your life, the things you normally take for granted. And again, it's not easier said than done, but it helps you work on those things to not go crazy and to not sit there and make it this whole thing that is, you know, that controls you and destroys you. Again, because you could sit there, you could bury your head in the sand, you could say the world's over, you could say this, but if you believe the world has a deeper meaning, maybe we repeat this 1,000 times over in different forms. I mean, who knows? But if that's the case, then you're going to be judged on these actions here and now. And what are you doing? What are you doing to better yourself or other people? Gotcha. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I still truly believe that at the end of the day, you're going to look at this list. There's going to be a list in front of you, and it's going to be, okay, was the world better off with your existence or without? Gotcha. Were you a giver? Were you a taker?
Gotcha.
And so, again, I think you just keep adding to it. You do it genuinely. And again, and to what you say, though, try and, you know, self-preserve. You know, get your food, get your water, get your, you know, get your everything in order. But again, each person has their own kind of game plan, or needs to make their own game plan. But again, it never goes wrong with treating people well, showing love, positivity.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha. Dope. All right, let's finish off the Diddy segment, and then we're gonna move on. Where we at with him right now? Where we at? Or we know he's down in the Caribbean, possibly.
From what I've heard, I think he's going down.
You think he's going? Well, if the fucking feds, okay, let's be real. If the feds raid your house, they feel they got something on you.
well,
Now, I'm not saying you ain't gonna beat the case, but like you said, well, there's some smoke.
Yeah.
There must be like some kindling or some shit going on right now. Right?
It's so crazy right now.
It's enough fire there for them to come in your house. It's there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you ain't gonna beat the case, but I'm saying some of that shit they think is true. So. Are we all in agreement on that shit right there?
Yeah, no, definitely, without doubt. My question is, you know, just how far does the distraction go? I mean, and it's just funny, all the little side plays that are trickling off of all this too. Like, for example, you know how Diddy, you know, he has his sons, King Combs or whatever, and Justin or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know there's some funny stuff going on with them as far as, you know,
Right.
like, and then he also took in Q, who's Quincy, who I think is his mom was Kim Porter, who was Diddy's baby mama, but Kim Porter had a baby by I'll Be Sure too, and so this was, you know, Q. That's why they called him, you know, and so anyway, I think he was named after his uncle Quincy Jones too, which is interesting. This whole connection, you know, if people know in the past shows how I speak about Quincy Jones, but what's funny is I'll Be Sure today. Of course, and it's funny how people do everything for the gram and for everything else. Goes out and goes, hey, the door's open, son. Come back home. You know, come back to your biological dad. I love you, or whatever. But why wouldn't you just pick a phone call up and do that? Why you put it on Instagram?
Instagram,
You're a grown ass man, and your first message is to Instagram.
Yeah, you're
Like,
trying to get that clout.
either get that clout, or it's part of the whole show for everybody else to eat all this stuff up.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Like a soap opera.
yeah.
you go.
Oh, speaking of
Good
which,
soap
I had this theory the other day. I'm glad you mentioned soap opera, because I don't know, soap opera's been going on since what? I mean, I know the first soap opera ever, supposedly in the U.S. was 1930, right? But I know the 60s and 70s started the 70s really started the soap opera craze, right? Okay, well, you know how we blame rock music in the 70s and 80s, we blame rap music in the 90s for all this, manipulation and and everything else, and kind of getting us off our whatever. Think about soap operas for a second. You want to see why we always say video games, Grand Theft Auto, and
soap
Call of
operas,
Duty,
murder, fake death.
yeah, adultery,
cheating.
yeah, exactly. And you're telling me all the housewives that sit at home and watch all this stuff don't get programmed like the kid that stays at home and gets programmed like for the rap music and the gangster music?
Yeah, I think that was a feeling because when I was a kid, I used to watch Days of My Life.
Oh no, yeah, Days of Our Lives, Guiding Light, all my children,
General Hospital, all that shit.
and it was some scandalous ass shit.
Right.
And so if you're a kid getting introduced to it, guess what? You see all that shit. If you're a stay-at-home mom or grandma, you're watching all this stuff too. Now you want to see why the divorce rate's where it's at. You want to see where everything is. It's all contributing factors. Yeah. And people want to live. Here's the thing: people want to live and emulate what they see. So just like that's my favorite rapper. That's my favorite basketball player. That's my favorite this. I'm going to wear my clothes like him. I'm going to idolize him. You don't think the housewives stay home and want to have an affair with Jack, whatever his name is on Guiding Light or whatever, or As the World Turns, excuse me. And what's it called? They want to be the mistress, or they want to be the wife that all of a sudden is gets to fling with the pool boy. I mean, it introduces a lot of different stuff. A lot of different stuff. When back in the day in the 60s, 50s, and 60s, they didn't even used to show people sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah,
Again, so it's interesting how this has gone so far.
Right.
And you look at all the different avenues to corrupt everything. Is it coincidence or is it reality?
We know what you think about coincidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of coincidence, okay, we talked about this. We talked about this on the last show, and it kind of me and Greedy, we be doing our sports betting and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but this kind of ties into kind of what's going on right now. So we talked about Ohtani, baseball player for the Los Angeles Dodgers, right?
Yep.
We touched on a little bit about his interpreter that stole some money from him, something like that. Well,
Allegedly.
It ain't allegedly now. They saying this motherfucker.
Well, they're saying he stole it, but did he steal it or did Ohtani give it to him?
Well, see, here's some new stuff that just came out.
Or did Ohtani place the bets and he was just paying his own?
Yeah.
This guy's the fall guy.
I mean, or was he play, or were they both? Okay, so this dude's history is kind of checkered. You know what I'm saying? Really, it doesn't pick up. Until he was in high school, you know what I'm saying? And then he kind of goes dark for a while, and then all of a sudden he works for the Dodgers organization. Well, this is a huge story because Ohtani is a $700 million player.
Yeah, one of the biggest athletes in the world.
Right? Globally. And
by the way, did you see Pete Rose put out a video saying he wishes he had an interpreter when he played baseball? He would be in the Hall of Fame right now.
Right.
Well, remember I said that last week.
But they've changed. Here's the thing: they've changed. Even the Houston Astros owner has come out and said this is a travesty because they've changed the story 2 or 3 times since it first broke, and now there's this new story about the interpreter and Ohtani being lovers, and that he was actually using Ohtani. Convincing them, and maybe he was using Ohtani. That's why they had joint bank accounts, because they were saying, "How do you have access to his bank account?" Because real talk, even though we're afraid, you can't go into the Bank of America over there and pull money out of my fucking account. You know what I'm saying?
You want to bet?
And so, but they had joint bank accounts. It says so. In order to have joint bank accounts, they think they was a little bit closer than what they're trying to. And so
basically, they're saying it was like Diddy and Meek Mill.
Yeah, it's on the low though. Was
Ohtani the one saying, take that?
Well, fucking, I hope so.
Hold up, wait a minute.
I don't know.
You thought that was finished?
He could be a power bottom like fucking TD Jakes, but
Hey, but speaking on the sports betting and Ohtani, you also have this Jonte Porter, the brother of Michael Porter Jr., basketball player who 2 games where he, basically played a couple minutes and checked out and for injury, for other reasons. Those nights were his unders on his prop bets were the highest paid out props in betting on that night on DraftKings or FanDuel, one of those. People are saying, to the point that the NBA actually pulled him from a game because of the irregularities and the bets on the unders in the games that he was playing in.
But this is what I'm talking about. You have the fox in the henhouse, bro. How can FanDuel, DraftKings be sponsors of NFL, MLB, fucking basketball? They're sponsors everywhere, right? And you don't think here's the thing. You're pouring thousands of dollars into fucking marketing dollars.
Billions.
And everything on the up and up?
No.
Well, did you see that they're trying they're trying to ban prop bets in the NCAA and college sports right now because
Well, you can't even do it here in Arizona.
not in Arizona, but other states you can.
Yeah.
So they're trying to ban it nationwide
Gotcha.
because, it would be
It's just getting ridiculous.
it'd be real easy to have a college player just have an off
Well,
night.
you sent me something the other day. The Missouri player was offered $300,000 a game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Come on, it's not stopping.
It happens more than when there's that much money on the line, it happens more than you think.
bro, listen.
People don't. How about this? I'll say it even further. People don't think because again, this is parallel with what we were talking about earlier. People don't want to live in a world that is against their fairy tale dream. They want to sit there and think that everything is exactly how they were raised for it to be,
Wow.
at least in the areas where they can get away.
Well, I'm
So,
saying I'm saying it might happen today. You have fucking
yeah,
Arizona, okay?
yeah.
Oh, 7-point favorite going against Clemson, right? Fucking love the number one player on their team, arguably, right? Goes 0 for 9 from 3. What was he? 3 for what from the field, Nick?
I mean, he had 11 or 13 points. That whole game, they had a lot of turnovers. They just they were forcing shots. I think they shot 36% from the field and 20-something% from 3.
Yes, uncharacteristic. It was like
17% from 3.
nah, but it was like they had
it was bad.
It was like they had their family in the basement, bro, or they all got some NIL money.
Kind of like
in
when
their
the
account.
Suns played the Mavericks that one playoff game. That was
Yeah.
the first loss ever.
Yeah.
I mean, again, man, this shit's happening way more.
You just never know.
This shit's happening.
I'm just saying, with NIL money, you can slip the collective can slip a little bit more money in your pocket and say, oh no, he just got an endorsement deal.
Hey,
Of course.
speaking of slipping money in somebody or taking money out of somebody's pocket, what about this strip club lawsuit going on here in our home state of
I got
Arizona?
strip club money. Anyway, stay the fuck out of strip clubs, all right?
Hey, I'm gonna say the same thing.
Stay the fuck.
If you go in a strip club, you're just looking to get jacked.
listen. I used to do my shit back in the day, okay?
I'm glad we grew up when we did.
And yes, and I've dated quite a few dancers in my day. Stay the fuck out of
Just for the record, in Canada they call them peelers
peelers.
Yeah.
Why is that?
because they peel their clothes off.
Ah, okay.
Oh, I thought they peeled the ones out of your pocket.
Yeah. So
Ones? Who tips ones anymore?
he,
I'm just playing.
what did you
What do you tip? 2s?
in Canada they can't even tip on the stage. You know that, right?
Hey, so back to this story.
Yeah, go ahead.
3 strip clubs in the Scottsdale, Tempe area, all owned by the same owner, Bones, Cabaret, Skin, and Dream Palace,
Dream prison.
are alleged to be part of a racketeering and conspiracy and other allegations. Basically, there's 20 guys that are suing them that all claim that they were brought back into VIP drugged, forced to sign and do fingerprints and take pictures. Some saying physically forced. One guy says that they took his iPhone and used the face thing to open his phone to approve the charges when his company sent him the text like, "Are you the one charging this?" Right. Upwards of $1.2 million over these 20 guys. The average charge on these guys' cards was $72,000 for the night, with the top one guy in one night being charged $181,000 to be in VIP with the strip club.
First of all, I'm going to tell you right now, nothing they do in the regular room, on stage, or VIP
It's worth over $500.
Speak on it, baby. Speak on it. You motherfuckers better recognize you. Listen, I'm trying to tell you. Should I put them up on game real quick?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Listen,
Why not?
for you motherfuckers going to the strip club, stop it.
Because they don't like.
I'm gonna tell you.
They don't
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna tell you. Cut that shit out. Strippers, y'all can get mad at me all you want. All right. All you gotta do, take it out to Robert Kraft, bro. You go see Mama Son.
Wow. Wow.
Bro, just go to these Asian joints. They got you. Like you there to get. You there to get jerked off, do whatever. I'm telling you, it costs you $150, $300. You in and out in 30 minutes, bro.
The opinions herein are of Paul's and Paul's alone.
Allegedly.
Do not reflect the opinions of the 2 on the 10 podcast.
I'm just trying to tell you, stay your ass out the strip.
All I'm going to say is, let's say I was a single man and I was into paying to get laid. They better have, even if they had 200 girls in that club and every single one of them was going to let me do whatever I wanted to them all night, no way would that ever justify $181,000.
And second of all, I'm gonna say this: if my card would take $171,000, I'm coming back the next day and I'm burning that shit down literally.
Hey, some of these guys, like their
Burning your place
Amex cards only had like $10,000 and $20,000 limit, and they let them charge up to like 70, 80 grand.
But see, here's the problem. You got these motherfuckers that haven't seen pussy since pussy seen them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but also allegedly were drugged. So
Yes,
when
and
you're
drugs.
under the influence of some shit, you don't know what you're doing.
Here's my thing. I'm trying to tell you.
Just keep yourself out of the strip club.
Say the fuck out of the strip club.
I mean, I heard the stories.
Hey,
not gonna put somebody on blast,
listen,
but
go to the massage joints.
I'm gonna say this. What's it called? There was a buddy of mine, and he was talking how he went out, and he's like, man, and you know him, Nick. I'm not gonna say who. In the legal field, and he went out with somebody else. After the bars, they got drunk. They decided they want to go to Desert Flame, which I call Desert Shame, and I actually know the owners, so I ain't gonna fuck with them. Shout out to
Right.
Denny. But what's it called? I'll just say this: they said that they left, and he spent $2,500 and didn't get anything for it. How do you get hustled
Again,
But I mean, I
you're
know how to
spending
get hustled.
all this fucking money.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I want these girls to come work for me. These are some fucking bona fide salesmen. Like, they are in the wrong.
Would you like to supersize your tots?
They're in the wrong profession.
Supersize your lap dance?
They are fucking fleecing these mother, and it's because they're fucking lonely and shit, and they, or whatever they ain't get when they fucking at home. They got this beautiful fucking girls, and they have some beautiful fucking girls in the fucking girl.
I'm gonna speak
Trust
on
me,
something.
I've taken a couple out of them.
I'm gonna speak on something, and my girl knows about this or whatever. Yeah. But when I first got out here, I met a couple dancers at the nightclubs, and then they go, "Come over to this club, blah 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 blah." I became friends with a couple. Nick, you met one of my friends before, yeah.
At maybe one of the strip clubs in question.
Yeah, when we were hanging with Baby Bash, and this is like 15 years later, And so, what's it called? They call me up sometimes, and because they knew I was out all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Mitch, you want to go to breakfast? We're just getting off. Pause. And they're like, there's about 7 of us girls, and then the manager, and we're gonna go to Denny's on Tempe.
Yeah.
So yeah, and over there we go eat breakfast, whatever.
Yeah.
And hang out. This is like early 2000s.
Right.
No, 99. This is 99, 2000. Okay. And what's crazy is you learn early, first of all. Well, first of all, I was too busy going to clubs. I was worried. I liked real life interaction. I like dancing. I like drinking. I like having fun. I don't like looking like a sucker. And I don't like anybody thinking that, you're going to
So did they try to get you to pick up the bill?
No. But here's what's funny. You listen to them. They're all talking. And they're like, oh, that's... And I mean, again, I knew the hustle was on, but there was no internet. There was no other stuff. Right. So you're listening firsthand perspective. And they're sitting there going, yeah, did you see that old guy, that creepy guy, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he tipped me $500. I got him for $500. Ah, what a sucker, blah, blah, blah. Then the next person, I got this guy for $300. I got this guy for $200. I got this guy for $500. I got whatever. They're going down, they're talking shit about all the people who are spending money. I actually thought that there was a little bit more appreciation than that. I mean, honestly, the first time I'm seeing that, okay, cool, whatever. But then the funny part about it is, and then the next sentence, after dogging all these dudes for spending money, what a bunch of fucking idiots. I told him, let's, come back, let me hustle him, some more. He didn't, not in those words. Then like, what are you guys doing tomorrow? Oh, we're going to Johnny's house. Johnny's got ecstasy and coke. So guess what? Hey, the exchange rate.
The exchange rate is
The
what?
exchange rate is $100 to $200 in coke.
Yeah.
Or and you're the champion of the freaking world,
Right.
and I've never done coke in my life,
Yeah.
so
Me
I'm not
either.
saying.
Hey, well, I told you, bro.
And so
I never have either, by the way.
Okay.
free on the 10 podcast, and that's a true story. Red Bull and vodka was enough damage for me.
Gotcha. Juicy, baby.
But
Juicy.
but yeah. So here's what's funny about it though. So yeah, seriously, party drugs, whatever else could get that dude. The girls over at his house, get him laid.
Bro, and listen, we all know the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But a dude that comes over and tricking off money. I'll give you one more example of how this world works. Remember Fat Tuesdays, right? Okay, so it's once a year. Especially if you're not from Louisiana, you're out here. The bars out here go crazy, and we used to buy the beads and go to the different places, right? And so for that 10-cent bead on that night only, you can hand it to a girl and she takes her top off, right? And it's kind of understood. It's kind of a reason for a girl to feel free and go, no excuses, no one judges you, right? But you go out the next night and you go, hey, here's $500, take your top off. See how many times you get slapped.
Well, I always joke about that with the strip club. It's like you can go to a strip club and give a girl $1 and she'll flash you her pussy. But try to go to a bar and be like, hey, here's $20. Let me see your pussy. Same thing. Like
Yo.
they look at you like you.
Y'all wild as shit.
So-
No, we got it. Hold on. I'm cutting this shit off right now.
If you ever tried that, Nick, first of all,
Come on.
I hope they broke your glasses.
Listen, I'm done.
And my glass only been broke once.
Bro, I ain't gonna let it get off
Martini Ranch.
because we at the end. We're at the end of the show. This could fucking go crazy. Anyway, all right. Give me your thought of the day, then we out of here, baby. What you got, Nick?
My thought of the day, I just want to say that I was rooting for the Arizona Wildcats tonight.
Man, don't give me sad.
They disappointed me once again. And, obviously I went to ASU, but I'm a U of A fan. Sometimes they just make me second guess my loyalty.
I didn't want to talk about it right now. I didn't talk about it. See, you could have left.
I had to.
You could have left that out of the
I
segment.
could have left it out of the segment, but why?
What the
Why?
It's all good. It's all good. Bitch, what you got? Oh, this motherfucker here. He's gonna make me drink tonight.
All I'm gonna say is avoid the strip clubs, if you can, or if you do what I do when I do have to go with my friends that do go now.
What's that?
You just put a few dollars on the side. I don't take dances.
Gotcha.
Just throw one up respectfully to the person dancing on stage.
Gotcha.
Keep moving, ordering my drinks.
I got
Cool. Keep it classy. Keep it whatever. And to be honest with you, when I do that stuff, it's funny how many more people come up to you and ask you, why don't you get danced? I noticed you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's funny compared to the person that reeks their cologne. What cologne you wearing? Desperation? It's like,
I love it.
Like Calvin Klein or?
Man. All right. Hey, my last thing is, hey, don't let nobody kill your dream, bro.
all right, so go to strip clubs then.
No. Don't let nobody kill your dreams. Straight up is, if you got a dream, fucking attack it. Don't let anybody. A lot of these people are fucking small-minded thinkers. Don't think outside the box. Don't take risks. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. If you want it, fucking go take it. And don't let anyone say you can't.
Yeah, I just want to say, second best speech since Martin Luther King.
All right.
Wow.
Hey, and we out of here, 2 on the 10. Peace, motherfucker.
I think I heard Diddy say that speech.
Take that.